The other one is about the issue of public being the source of political authority. Now, political authority is not the way we normally know it. Political authority involves interests, interest groups. If we close that gate, most of us will protest and make noise. And why has the university closed the gate? But if you close the gate to your compound, why would anyone complain? Would people complain if you close the gate to your compound? But if you erect a wall and seal off that gate, we start asking ourselves, why has Laikipia University sealed off the university? We want to know what is going on inside that university. Then the other one is the issue of success in public policy being measured by maximum social gain. That any public policy must benefit almost everyone within the community. I go back to the example that I gave. Those police officers you see out there are there to ensure that all of us are safe, and not just anybody, not just a few, but all of us. And then we ask ourselves again, why is public policy needed? And public policy is needed because the first one is economic. The issue of economic. And now you look at the issue of market failure. And market failure goes beyond the way we know the market. Because in these days we are talking about knowledge being a market. For example, the issue of say, like, let me give you an example of M-Pesa. Why do we need policy to regulate operators of mobile money? If there is no M-Pesa, what will happen to us? Or the suspended M-Pesa for 3 hours? There will be a crisis still. And that's why justice. CRA, for example, Commission for Revenue Allocation, has a policy. And this policy is the one that determines how much each county is entitled to. And they look at a number of factors. The other one is the issue of political. And political is about politics, the way we know it, and also interests. Because we all have interests. We talk about democratic accountability, we have elections, we elect leaders, we hold them accountable. We talk about the issue of transparency, that we are using public resources, and it must be done in a transparent and open way. What are attributes of a good policy, public policy? One of them is the issue of it being goal-oriented. Goal-oriented. It must have a goal. What do you intend to achieve? What do you intend to get? Then it's a product of demand. It's a product of demand. You cannot invent a policy to address nothing. When you make a policy, there must be an issue you're trying to address. Then the issue of social change. And that is an example of washing of our hands. When COVID came in 2020, we came up with this concept that any public facility must have a way where we can wash our hands. Why? We don't even wash our hands. And I've seen those facilities at the gate whereby you can't really wash your hands. And the goal there is if you are going to our members, they must tell you that when people wash their hands, cases of diseases like dysentery, diarrhea, among others, they go down. So that's the goal. Then the other one is the issue of providing guidelines for action. Policy provides guidelines for action. Then the issue of public authorities making the policy on behalf of the country. And we all agree that the whole concept of us washing our hands is for our own good. You see the COVID scenario. And I'm just thinking that some of us wash our hands. we are not concerned about that. But now when we say please wash your hands, how many of us still follow the same? Yet those facilities are there. That's a public policy issue. Sanitation and hygiene is a public policy issue. Who makes public policy? One is the national government. National government makes public policy. And we are aware that we have a policy on the funding model for university education. We have a policy on many issues. We have a gender policy. We have the issue of non-discrimination. We have the issue of equity for all genders as a national government. Then we have also the county governments. County governments making their own policy, for example, parking. Where are they supposed to park and where are they not supposed to park? Then you have international institutions like IMF, World Bank, UNICEF, and many others. Human Rights Watch, for example, they say you are not supposed to violate or discriminate against gender lines. Against someone, that's an international requirement that nobody should be discriminated against because of their gender. Then you have got civil society organizations. The civil society organizations, they also drive public policy. And other civil society organizations, they are looking at NGOs, then you have got faith-based organizations. Now, I'll ask a question. How many of us started from Salga up to Molo? Salga, Molo, we have accidents there, many accidents. And the faith-based organizations are the ones that kept drawing the attention of public authorities on the carnage that was happening at that place. And we don't know how they used to do it. And it's through those initiatives of faith-based organizations that that road was made good. And even it was made good, accidents went down. Then you have got academia and research institutions, where we are now, we as young people, where you are sitting, ask yourself, how can I drive policy in this university? How can I drive public policy in our institutions? Because remember, we have been told we must be problem solvers. We must provide solutions to the problems or challenges that we face in our communities, in our families, in our institutions. Then about the media. The media as we know it. Not those on TikTok. Because TikTok, we say they may not be helping us make public policy. Good public policy to try to get the agenda of this country. If we see anything in the media like Nation or Standard, anything that we know, or even on Facebook, then we will be forced to develop a policy to address the issue that we are facing or that they are highlighting. Types of public policies. The first policy is called distributive policy. And basically, a distributive policy sets out to allocate new resources towards public goods or interests or services. And I give an example of CRA, Commission for Revenue Allocation. SRC, Service and Education Commission. That nobody in government can wake up and allocate themselves salaries or increase their salaries. That's go through SRC. CRA, that County X is getting this amount of money and they give you reasons why County X has got that amount of money that they are performing. Those of us who have taken interest in what CRA does. The policy is redistributive policy. Basically, it's those ones they modify the distribution of existing resources. And there I will give an example of Laikipia University. You have got 10 hostels, for example, 10 hostels. And then 6 hostels are used by men. 4 hostels are used by ladies. And then the university decides that we are going to have the men give up 2 or 1 hostel for ladies. and they have reasons. Because the number of ladies has enrolled has gone up. Or it is the men who are lesser hostels. The admission for men has increased. So we want to take away one hostel from ladies and allocate it to men. Our highways, can you drive at any speed that you can drive 300 kilometers per hour speed? Highways. Imagine driving at 300 kilometers per hour outside our gate here. There are speed limits. Basically, it's about regulation, conditioning our behavior, that you cannot behave in a particular way when you are in this spot. Or when you walk in this university, you start shouting. What happened? Will the university allow it? You are shouting, you are very happy. Is it allowed in Laikipia University? You don't have to talk. It is allowed to shout in Laikipia University. But basically it's to regulate our behavior. Then the last category that we are looking at is stabilization policy. And I'll go back to the example of energy costs. If the cost of fuel has gone up, the government will subsidize. Then they will tell us that if you are supposed to abate 220, you will now pay 200. That they are paying for the extra 20 shillings. Even our own education in the university has been subsidized by the government. So that the fee that you pay in Laikipia University is not the same fee that you pay in private institutions. That there are some fees that the private institutions pay to the government and the public institutions do not pay. That's about stabilization, to ensure that everyone gets an equal opportunity. Those of us who have gone to the Nairobi have got the expressway. The expressway. You are allowed to use the expressway, you pay. If you don't have to pay, we use the other, the old Mombasa Road, which is free. Then what are some of the authoritative policy documents, or where we derive policies? One is the Constitution of Kenya that we promulgated in 2010. Then you have parliamentary acts. Parliamentary acts. Like which act do you know? Which act do you know about us who are here? An act. Who knows any act that protects us who are here? Any act that concerns us who are here? After that, that's the reason why we are here. Now you think about when we have our discussion this afternoon, our intellectual discourse this afternoon, there is an act that makes people come here, there is an act that makes Laikipia University invite us here to talk and build your capacity and empower you. Then you have got the subordinate legislation, that is proclamations, regulations, and notices. Then you have got study documents, we have got work plans, administrative circulars, and procedural guidelines. For example, how many of us know or have looked at the strategic plans of our institutions? Strategic plan, Laikipia University, how many of us have looked at the strategic plan of Laikipia University, Laikipia University? How many of us have looked at the strategic plan of the university? So those are documents that make us generate or create policies. Then the public policy cycle
the first stage is there must be a problem. So what is the problem? What is the challenge? There must be a problem. There must be a challenge. There must be an issue that this policy wants to say. You identify the problem. Then the second stage is you set the agenda. You set the agenda. And setting the agenda means you are giving priority to what is most important to the country. Even as we set the agenda, when you woke up in the morning, you prioritize and say, today is what I'm going to do. And you have your own reasons. And where there are some people who are sleeping. Because for them, sleeping is a priority over capitalization. Then you get into a stage, another stage of design or policy design. In under policy design, what you are doing is you are asking yourself, what do you need to address the problem? Or what options are available to you? What resources do you need? What resources do you have? Then you pick the most viable option to address the challenge that you will be facing. Once you pick which option you will be policy following, you go into what is called policy legitimization stage. You have implementation. And under policy legitimization, we normally do what is called public participation. Public participation, whereby the individuals who that policy will affect are involved. They are asked, they are told, what do you think? This is the issue of address. What do you think? Then you give feedback. They give you feedback. If the feedback is viable and good, they will already give them policy legitimization. The university cannot wake up one morning and say that I'm closing the university and there is no problem. The university cannot wake up one morning and say we are increasing fees by 100%. They must give it time. Legitimacy. That's the reason we also go to elections. We elect people. Because I cannot elect myself. Legitimization. Then you implement that policy. After implementing, the next stage is evaluation. Now, under evaluation, you're asking yourself, have we achieved the goals that we set out to achieve? Have we achieved the targets that we wanted to achieve? If, for example, your target was to increase student enrollment by 100%, and then you have achieved that target, you will go to the next stage where you will ask yourself, should I connect this policy or should I succeed with another policy? Remember, there are some problems where after resolving the issue, the policy has achieved its target, you will terminate the policy. But there are some policies where you will simply succeed the policy with another new policy to address any new emerging issues. For example, if it's a policy in education continues. True or false? It continues, isn't it? If it's a policy of security, security is an ever-present issue. Even if there's no any incident of insecurity, you cannot say, no, I think we are now safe, we don't need police officers. Is that true? Can we say that way? That we are now safe, we don't need police officers? So you succeed the policy or terminate the policy. And then we ask ourselves, what are some of the tenets or characteristics of our good policy? One, that is forward-looking. Forward-looking. 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, we are looking forward towards that. Then you also use outward-looking. Outward-looking. That what else is out there that we can learn from? What else is out there that we can benefit from? Evidence informed that any policy must be informed by evidence. Because we say that you can develop a policy to address nothing. There must be an issue. There must be a challenge. If, for example, you went to the university, Vice Chancellor, or say the public, then you told him that this number of people are sick, or just telling people are sick, the next question he will ask you is, how many people are sick? Or, we are admitting 3,000 students. I think we will have a problem with accommodation. They must listen to you. But if you went to them and told them that we are going to admit many students, who will the Vice Chancellor listen to? You told the Vice Chancellor we are going to admit 4,000 students. And someone has gone to the Vice Chancellor and told him we are going to admit many students. Who will the Vice Chancellor listen to? Hey, assume you are the registrar academic, you are the Vice Chancellor. Those two options. That we are admitting many students. Another saying the Vice Chancellor, we are admitting 4,000 students. Who will he listen to? Or assume you are the Vice Chancellor. Two people have come to you. One is saying we are admitting many students. Another one is saying we are admitting 4,000 students. Who will you listen to? Why 4,000? You are just wondering because of 4,000 students. Why the member of staff who has come together and said we are admitting 4,000 students, another one has told you we are admitting many students. As a Vice Chancellor of the problem, who are you going to say and listen to?
I'll listen to the one who said 4,000 students. One, because he's exact, he will enable me be able to lead account for my planning, the financial spent, and the labor component we needed when this admission process is going on.
After admission, the issue is solved.
No, but it will enable me.
You just look at your past, there, after the past countries that we're talking about.
What looking?
So you have 4,000 students, after you admit them, you are done. Okay.
We are looking at 4,000 because I'll be more, I'll know how to plan for them, even after admission.
Yes, that because the point I raise here is that when you know that you have 4,000 students, you are able to plan for them for the next 4 or 3 years. 4 you are looking at 4 years, then you are going to have 4,000 students here, and the numbers are to increase. So you plan for the next 4 or 5 years. And I can take you of evidence. You are not evidence. 4,000 students, that's evidence, and those are many students. Then there is an inclusion. It must be inclusive. A good policy must be inclusive. A good policy must be cost-cutting. Inclusive, a good policy must also be cross-cutting. Because you brought in the issue of planning budgeting. You also look at the number of academic staff that you need. Look at the number of curriculum staff that you need. Flexibility. A good policy should be flexible, not rigid. That you can change, but adaptation is allowed. Even in our own individual lives, we are asked to be rigid, but to be flexible. Then we have got any lessons you learn from what lessons are you going to learn? Are there any lessons that you learn? That when you are in fitness, what lessons can you learn from that? Experiences. Not invisible. A good policy must be known and visible. For example, the issue of littering the compound. We have tested. Isn't that evidence? Is that evidence or not evidence? We have got dustbins here. We have said no littering, but then we have provided dustbins. But we want litter. Then monitoring and evaluation. If you monitor and evaluate, is the compound clean? the issue of creativity, the issue of innovation. And the example that I was giving, COVID, one of the regulations that we were doing is that we must be washing our hands. Now, I do that from various parts of this country. How many of us still see those water washing points in our counties, in our public hospitals? The only place I'm happy I've seen is public hospitals right now. You cannot go in without a mask. You have to wash your hands. Then lastly is the issue of sustainability. And in sustainability, we are looking about 5 years from now. How sustainable is that policy? Sustainability. In fact, the issue of sustainability is also in the Constitution, that we use our resources sustainably. So when you are making a policy, you ask yourself, how sustainable is that policy? Because most policies require resources for funding. So I think I will stop there. MC.
That was extremely informative, very didactic, and it was also very precise. From Dr. Douglas Iwori. Before I usher you into the question and answer session concerning the presentation, kindly allow me to introduce the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dedan University, popularly known as Tvets. It is my humble pleasure to introduce Professor Esther McGill. Professor McGill is the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Administration and Finance. Madam, you can kindly just be outstanding so that those of us in the audience will be happy. I'll pose the first question to the audience. And this question is tautological. It's not a good question. The presentation was called Public Policy Process. What does it entail? I think the thesis of the presentation lies in that question. And maybe to top up your memory, we have very many policies and institutions, and I believe our institutions are permanent. And the policies we have, protecting policies like was quoting the case of COVID regulations, all they are sustainable policies. And when we gave out the examples of types of policies, where does the best practice meet the bad practice? I think that was just an introduction, so I want to open the floor to question and answer section. And that's really the gist of what we are doing. In questions you are asked, you are free to seek for more clarification. You are also free to give opinion also free to add something. And it should not be an opinion. Sometimes it can be even a very informative point of view. Remember, Madam CEO told us sometimes, and also the CEO, like Kippra said, knowledge is not monopolized. Even in the economic sector, monopoly practices are not good. I normally like to take three questions first. Yes. The best practice is to tell us very briefly the history platform and you ask your question. Good questions are not put by 4 words. More than 4 words is a good speech.
Thank you so much. My name is Maurice Bill. I come from the University. I'm a Master's of Science and Business Management. I have 3 questions. I hope they don't be more than 40 words as I can say. The first one being from the presentation that what a presentation that I shared. We normally say that in policy, you can do that. Either top-down or bottom-up approach. So I was asking which approach has worked well for you, and for the approach that has not worked, what is the challenge? Then the second question would be, for instance, when part of my sector, you see at the end of the as a whole, there are more than 140 policies, or even the question that I have would be like, now that we have these many policies, and we have always had a challenge from the articles that have been published. Policy implementation is not a difficult thing. So is it because we have more policies, that's why we have different implementation? Or is it because we don't have structures to implement policies? Thank you. I think I'll stop there. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for your questions. There are 2, so it means take one more and they are answered, and I take another round of questions. Questions that are going to respond.
At the brief one, the first question from Maurice, top-down or bottom-up, it depends on the issue being addressed. Though if I can tell you, a hybrid of the 2 would be best. When you have a hybrid, it's everyone wants the decision. Those who are at the lower round, those who are at the top, hybrid of the 2. But still, it depends on the issue that's being addressed. For example, I'm imagining when we had COVID, and then the president has to ask people, what do you think? Do we lock down the country or not? Most of us would refuse, isn't it? We tell him, Mr. President, what do you want us to eat? And at that time, we will be dying, but they'll be waiting for us to agree the president. So it depends on the issue, top down or bottom up. Then the issue of more policies and difficulty in implementation. I may not be sure of taking the policies, but all I know is that sometimes some of us will make policies, then we keep them in our offices. And the public is not even aware of them. And then we say, there is a problem with the implementation. You have skipped one stage of the policy cycle. And this is the issue where when you have decided stakeholder mapping, ask yourself, who do I need or who will this issue affect? and then legitimization. So if a policy has gone through all the stages of the policy cycle, I don't think there'll be a problem in implementation. Then the third question was for public policy evaluation. That one is a whole module that we train on. There are modules we train on monitoring and evaluation. But just to give you a rough idea, one of the issues that you will need to look at when you are doing evaluation, policy evaluation, is the target. You're asking yourself, have I achieved it? What I set out to achieve? What I set out to achieve? And you are doing a master's, degree course. We have got a module we offer on monitoring and evaluation. And it's a course that takes more than 40 hours. So I may not do justice if I went through the entire process. Then the other one is political. Something about political. I didn't get the question very well.
The second question was what ethical considerations are important in the public policy making process?
Ethical.
Yeah.
What ethical questions are important? Many issues will arise when you are making a policy. For example, make a policy that is going to serve 10 people, and then you are taxing 100 people. That one becomes an ethical issue. And it comes into a state of legitimization. And when we are talking about an ethical issue, there is we are talking about young professional training program. And we normally take them through that issue of ethics. It's a wide range. Remember, ethical issues in health are different from ethical issues in business. So again, it depends with the issue. So I urge you, when you finish your master's degree and graduate, apply for the application program, 1-year training program, and you are taken through what ethical issues you need to consider when you are looking at which policy and what circumstances. And also, sometimes what is ethical to you may not be ethical to me. But we always look at objectivity. At the end of the day, any issue you are doing in public policy, not by the Kenyan Constitution or any other non-legislation.
Thank you. There is something called gender mainstreaming, which is very important in the Constitution and also in public practice. The people who ask the questions are gentlemen, and we have ladies in this room. I want to persuade and urge the ladies who are young, student ladies, to make me realize this very important constitutional aspect of ladies asking questions. I think positive discrimination is one interaction. Yes. And this comes from my heart of hearts. Yes.
Let me stand on that ground. My name is Faith. I come from Kippra University. Maybe one of the questions I wanted to ask, maybe for guide us, especially students, when we participate in a public forum and we want to influence a policy in maybe our county or our administrative maybe ward, what is the best way to go about? Because sometimes we very hard to influence the politicians because they are the authoritative in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe another lady who is as young as myself.
Yes, before I think I need one push. You have a special, I'll just give you the mic. So raise your hand before I give you the mic. Gotcha.
I want to address God guided democracy. Please go ahead.
Yes, guided democracy. Yes. Any question? Gotcha. Wengine wanaangalia kwa huruma. Thank you very much. I can see her hand there. Thank you for saving the girl child. But I'm still missing up that question.
Good afternoon. My name is Chelsea from Kippra University. So I have a question. How does the political landscape influence public policy process? Thank you.
Yes, there's another question here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Caroline from Laikipia University. And the question I had today, under the stabilization type of public policy, it was not quite clear. Could you elaborate a bit on it? Thank you.
We gave a coffee, that was an ambush. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. Our colleagues who are in public policy who have asked the question. The first question I will start with is from our colleagues from Kippra Mentorship, the guidance on how we can influence decision making in the public forums. Now, one of the challenges we have in this country is that people who are going to school like you and I avoid attending those political forums. Yet, we are the ones who are more informed on the issues being discussed. So it's not that politicians are bad people. The problem is that you and I who are more informed on particular issues avoid going to those forums. And the people who go there may not have an idea of what is being discussed. The problem is not with our leaders, the problem is with us who are in this room. The people who shape opinions in our societies and communities. And I just want to ask a question here. How many of us here even know the head of Neighborhood last away shaping public policy? How many of us here know attend those Neighborhood meetings? And if they all speak each other, but that's where public policy starts being shaped. How many of us here even know the office of the chief, where you stay, where that office is? So we need to take an initiative and be proactive. Others, if we are not proactive, nobody is going to listen to you. Nobody is going to listen to us. How political landscape, just also from Kippra University, how political landscape influences public manifesto. Current government agenda. I'm yet to see a student who has written and say you want to meet the CS Special and Planning, or the president, see if they refuse to meet you. They will not refuse to meet you. They want to see what ideas you have on the Masla policy, stabilization policy. Basically, from the word stability, you want to have stability. Stabilization from the word stability, that there is a crisis and you want to stabilize. And the issue the example that I used on the high cost of fuel. So how does the government move in with the stabilization policy is to have subsidy or subsidies. We have been complaining about the high cost of food. How did the government move in to stabilize that? One of the ways was to give farmers fertilizer. Some regions who are getting free fertilizer. Others have been asked that question. coming from Laikipia. Because basically when we talk about stabilization policy, you want to stabilize a patient. If you go to hospital and you are unwell, your blood pressure has gone up. The first thing the doctor will do is to stabilize your blood pressure and bring it down. And then now you will address now the process of your high blood pressure. I hope it's clear. I see where you seated. Yes. Okay. Is it clear now? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it is very clear because I saw that it is mine. That meant the intake was input. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a short interlude of entertainment. And this time, once again, the very own Kippra Mentorship Theatre is going to keep the mood and present us with an enchanting dance from across the borders of Kenya. I don't want to preempt, but I'm sure it is going to vary our streaming. Karibuni sana LTT. If you can make us some minutes. I'm very informed that Betty has said that this gentleman proceeds with a sort of mass called the Zing. If I'm not wrong, the translation for Zing is the locust. Karibuni sana.
Oh dear.
Jamani, nashangaa kuna nzige wa ajabu, ni wengi kama dagaa, asili yao tububu, ni hatari kama kaa. wamenishinda bawabu. Nzige gani dudu hawa wanao bila kusaza? Wanakuja chumba nzima mithili ndege angani, wanatua ima taratibu za wageni shambani wanainama. Wakulima utadhani nzige gani nauliza washindao mashambani? Mikahawa wanakula iwe tamu au chungu, majani chai walala na kuvuna kwa majungu. Miwa pia waingila ufikiri ni ukungu. Nzige gani ninamaka wafisadio kilimo, wakitafuna miraa kodokodo wakodoa kuliko nyama bala kama simba mchokoa. Konde wakieka kwa saa kumaliza manokoa. Naomba jibu jamani, aina nzige hawa gani? Viwandani wakiingia na mashambani sisiti, pesa zote wabugia mashilingi kwa manoti. Wafilisi jumuiya kufanya watu maiti. Nzige gani ninamaka wafisadio uchumi? Mahakama nimeenda nikitafuta haki, nzige nao wakawinda mawakili kama laki. Mahakama wakawanda, nimeshindwa nimebaki. Nauliza nzige gani washindao mpaka kesi? Aha, tawanyao nimejua ni moto wa kuchomea, na nikiza nikiua ndege kota na pania, kelele na wajibua lukuki wakitifia. Lakini mbona hawafi nzige hawa wajabu? Nasikitika utawali kamwe kushinda fisadi. Kifefe wewe fadhali una nguvu ufaidi, na kwamba wewe walahi. Nzige fisika maradi watakupiga defrau ukalazo kaburini. Kumbe wananchi hawa si nzige halali. Na utabeli dalili wanaacha watu uchi baada ya kuajiri. Nzige gani kudu hawa wenye sura za waizi? Hakika nzige sikukuu, mwenye nguvu umupishe, ukune usiopiku, mkono mwema ukulishe, wapende upate kuku, chana wakubishe, piga busu nunu nzige, na wakupe asali. Nimejua kina nani, ni minunda wala watu, nzige wakigeuzani, kuhana kama chatu, fifi adi waitwani. Nzige hawa mitutu, kumbe ni ofisiadi, nzige watu malizao. Tawalenga kwa masimi, na kuchoma za kupesi, tawaporomosha magumi, na mateke ni watesi, nitawafuma ufumi, nikomeshe wasiwasi. Nzige hawa na wamenya, misitaki kunyanyaswa. Kusha kuila na rusha, dudu nzige kupambana, mateke ninaangusha, kufagia malaana, kukomboa wanowasha, wakiishi mashakana. Nzige wote tumalize, shamba tena linawiri. Bali tazameni, tumeshinda hao nzige, bega bega na makini, tumeangamiza vikike, tumezika kaburini, honga hongo ya maike. naona raha moyoni kuangamiza vidudu. Kalita malili, makonde kuokoani, mashamba yananawiri, cha bustani ya Edeni, matunda ni furifuri, kedekede na sheheni. Tuwe anga siku zote, nzige tena wasirudi.
Yeah, thank you very much, LTT, once again. Tuwapigie makofi tena. That was really very good enchanting dance. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to dance with me? We are going to have presentations by students, and they're going to do it on the podium. And after that, we will have a question and answer session. This session is going to be led by Victor from Kippra
So thank you very much, Prof, for coordinating and moderating this event. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Mose from Kippra, journalist, and we are going to have a short session which provides a platform for students to be able to participate in the policy discourse. Yeah, and I wanted to give a brief. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you very much. I wanted to give a brief history of what you are going to have in the next 30 minutes. At Kippra, as an institution which espouses the value of engaging youth in the public policy making process, we do give students platforms for them to step forward and then I think we have a power problem, and I can project my voice. In the interest of time, I wanted to take note that students are very critical members of our society, and therefore, if we leave them behind when it comes to issues of policy-making process, we'll be missing out from a critical population in our society. So as Kippra, I indicated that we give them this opportunity in different ways. One of them you have seen here is through entertainment. And as you are aware, we are now talking about edutainment. That's where you educate as you entertain. And most of the students who are performing here, whether it's a solo verse, whether it's a song, whether it's a dance, in one way or another, they are communicating and they're passing a message to us. We ensure that these students, they are also entering into a network of Kippra Mentorship program for universities and now Tvets, for purposes of ensuring that for those who have talent, they are able to network, grow, and also improve in their entrepreneurship skills and also in their creativity and innovation. So this year we gave them the theme of youth empowerment agenda, and we are going to have a panel discussion which I'm going to moderate. So I wanted to encourage all the students, even the visiting students, to ensure that when you see such opportunities in your universities or your institutions, the tertiary institutions, please step forward because you're given an opportunity to make your contribution in the public policy making process. So thank you very much. This is our panel discussion, which is going to involve 10 students from Laikipia University, and with me is Collins Otieno. Can you raise up your hand? We also have Brenda Wageshi. We have Teresia Waidera, Dennis Tricon, Neyman Urogito. We have, as Neyman, we have Faith Saru. Faith. We also have Daniel Wasia. Is that it? Okay. We have Enon Atieno. We have Kevin Migui. We also have
Ali Mwani. Who is Ali? Oh, thank you very much. So, karibu sana, and congratulations for stepping forward to be part of this workshop in essay competition, but also in this discussion. I would wish to Dennis, who is also the student leader, is the president.
Okay, thank you so much. What I can say about transformative agenda, this refers to the policies, the efforts, and the initiatives that the government of Kenya has done in trying to uplift and empower the youth. Thank you.
Yes. Just go ahead, please.
Yes, I think the transformative agenda refers to various efforts, the initiatives and the policies that the government of Kenya has done in trying to uplift and empower the youth. Thank you.
So thank you very much for that. But when you say the government has put in place for purposes of youth agenda, what are some of these initiatives you are talking about?
Okay, the initiative that the government has done is, let's say, for example, the national youth policy that the government has put in place. Another issue is, let's talk about education sector, that the government has, we have seen a tremendous changes in the education sector. And there are so many other initiatives that the government has done in order to empower the youth.
Thank you very much for that. And I wish to bring in now Teresia also to give us also understanding about youth agenda.
Thank you. My own understanding about the transformative agenda for the youth and the strategies that have been put by the state and the non-state to address the needs of the youth, that is socially, economically, and even politically. And what that the government has done to address the needs of the youth is by the youth-led initiative that have been formed to address the needs that we are going to discuss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Kevin?
Yes, my understanding about the transformative youth agenda, these are the needs and the rights that have been put forward for the youth that will help us transform from one stage to another stage. What I mean is that agendas that have been put forward that will help us unlock our full potential, that is.
And what do you mean by full potential is that there's a transformative agenda and the youth potential? Maybe you can tell us more.